Hey guys, Mrs. Gatch here. I am not in class today, but I still really want to talk to you about your latest, the summative, your first summative to wrap up our first unit in Digital Media 7, which is a photography portfolio. So we talked a bit about this kind of at the beginning of the school year when you were asking about how you were going to be assessed over your different units. And for the photography one, this is what we will be doing. So a portfolio basically is a collection of photos underneath a common theme, a style, or maybe a subject. And this happens a lot in AP photography, or even as a professional. You take pictures under a theme and you choose which ones you think are the best, you edit them, and you put them on display so people can see your best work. So this project criteria, it's going to be about 10 to 15 photographs. I don't want any less than 10 and I don't want any more than 15 just because it actually is quite hard to get around 10 really good photos. And if you have more than 15, it just makes grading a little bit more difficult. Your photos can be taken in or out of the classroom with your own DSLR, or if let's say you wanted to try shooting with your iPhone, I'm really open to that as well. And these are going to be due next Friday, it's September 29th, at the beginning of class. And the reason I say at the beginning of class is because we're going to walk around and do a bit of a gallery walk. So let's talk a bit about some themes you can use or do. So there is no limit to your portfolio theme ideas. It could have anything to do with, let's say, composition. So let's say you want to go start off really simple and say, I want to try out different angles or work on forced perspective or leading lines or just reflection. That's something that you could do. We can do portraits. I think a lot of you guys are really strong in taking those. So you could have an idea of portraits. Is it capturing SAS? Is it, teachers of 7C? Is it posed ones? You think you can do better yearbook photos? Animals, it could be your own pets. It could be animals you see around you. We have a lot of crazy cats. And we try to capture them. And also could be different things that have to do with your life. So it can be certain stages in your life. I had one student where her entire her pictures were all about people getting ready in the morning. It was really interesting. So she would feature her mom, her dad, her brother, but it was interesting to see. It's something we usually don't do. It also could be a hobby. I've had some people who have done sports, such as soccer, football, etc., or your environment, like the botanical gardens, Orchard Road, let's say the woodlands, if you really just want to stay somewhere depressing. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is just to get you started on some ideas. But you can get as creative as possible. Now, there are a few photographing tips that I would tell you. I would tell you to experiment actually this time around with shooting with various devices. We do have our DSLRs at school, but sometimes if at home you don't have anything, your phone takes some really amazing pictures. So if you see something, if you want to try to take a picture using your phone, I strongly encourage you to do that. This is also a really good opportunity to see if you have parents who have cameras at home, if they'll let you take pictures there as well. I also really strongly recommend you shoot alone when you go out and shoot your pictures because you don't really want to be distracted. But obviously, if you, let's say, you're doing portraits of someone or you need a bit of help setting up a shot, you are welcome to head out with one person. And finally, I say this to you guys all the time, make sure you take as many pictures as possible. The more you have taken, the more you have to choose from. And you want to make sure that you have a large selection because, like I said, turning in at least 10 photos into your portfolio is quite difficult, the ones that you are really proud of. Oftentimes, I would have kids who would maybe have like 4 or 5 really good ones and then just put in 5 other not so great ones, and it actually really brought down their grade because they just didn't have enough photos that they felt happy enough to turn in. So your grading rubric, you're going to be graded on 4 different things. So obviously, you're going to be graded on your theme. So your theme in regards to what it's like, the creativity, it's hard to assess, but I can assess how well your photos illustrated your theme, and that's where that creativity comes from. You will be graded also on composition, so that has to do with the non-technical side of photography, meaning did you follow rule of thirds, those leading lines, how did you set up your shot and why did you do that? The technical side is a bit more about critical thinking, meaning are your pictures exposed the way that you want them to? How's your aperture, shutter speed? Focus is a really, really big thing here. I want your pictures to be really well focused. I want them to be edited, and I want you guys to have good high image quality. If you click on the presentation and you open up the, rubric, this is what it looks like here. So you can really get a much better, more detailed breakdown of what I'm going to be grading you on. Okay. So just one sheet here. If you want to just take some time and look over that so there's a bit more detail. Now, when you showcase your work, what it's going to be showcased on is I'm going to be sharing with you a Google presentation. And that Google presentation, what's going to happen is that you will have access to it and I will have access to it as well. So grading makes it a lot easier. So what it looks like is like this. So I made a fake one here for Barack Obama. So here, this is where you would put your name and then you would put the title of your theme. Okay. So let's say I would put my name here, so Anna Maria Gatch, and then my theme, let's say I would just put sad pugs. All right, that's going to be my theme. And then here on this page, you once again want to put the title of your theme, and then you write a bit about why you chose it. So this is where you give it a bit of a personal touch, where you explain what inspired you, how you took your pictures. Let's say you tried a different kind of technique, you only did it with iPhones, and why you chose it. Obviously, I really like pugs, and I like sad pugs because they make children depressed and they do what I tell them to do. So it all worked out. Then you guys have to make sure that you scroll all the way to the bottom of your presentation, because here you'll put your pictures, you'll be able to delete some slides if you need to, and then you're going to do your own reflection. So this is when you're all done, you're going to self-assess your photography portfolio. So you're going to honestly see what you've turned in and what you think you should get, and then you have to answer some reflection questions within the presentation. Okay, so there's only 3 of them, but please take time to actually respond with answers that are thoughtful and that you've taken time to think about, because as you see in the rubric, you are getting graded on your self-assessment. When you go in, you definitely comment on maybe the responsibility aspect. How well did you shoot? Did you stay on task? What struggles did you go through? What did you take away? How did you grow? So take time to answer these. Please don't save it for the last minute and then just rush it, because it will affect a part of your grade. So that is going to be coming to in your email on Thursday. I'm not going to share it with you until you really are getting more into your photography, because it's just something that you don't need to worry about. I'm still deciding if we're going to embed on our SAS blog. We'll see when we get there, but for the most part, this is the only place you are going to turn in your pictures. There's going to be no need to make a copy of this. You are going to be emailed your own one. So this is one thing I really like to share out, is these are past student portfolios that they have turned in. So I've put the students' names, and then I have also put in what their theme was. And so you can kind of get an idea of what people done. Some of these they've already gone on to high school. Some of these are 8th graders now. And all of these have been in Exceeds. This is one of my favorite ones that this student did. Hers was all about looking at things in a different light. And so what she did is she took objects that she would find around the house that people considered warm and kind, and she photographed them underexposed. And what it does, in showing them in a different light, it almost brought up a very creepy, sinister side of objects. And it was just such a clever way to do something. She really stuck to shooting and with a low aperture, getting really close to her objects, but playing with the light. So she used a bit of artificial light, but I think she also turned down the exposure on her photos. So that's one option there. We also have some really strong ones. These were some portraits of people around SAS that he's a current 8th grader now, Matu Harvey, he took. And these, I just think, what I really liked about these portraits and what made them stand out is that they were people that, usually don't get photographed. And he wasn't afraid to get close to people and capture their personalities and talk to them. So these are just some things that you guys need to take time and think about. How do you want to capture people or things in your portfolio? Okay? So you have access to this already on the calendar, and I also emailed it to you. So really take some time to see what students have submitted, because they have a lot of great ideas. So that's it. I hope I did not bore you too long with this. I didn't want to take up too much of your time. What you guys are going to be doing between today and tomorrow is, today I really want you to take time to do research on what you would want your theme to be. This is not something that you guys want to rush, okay? Look at your past photos. What have you done really well in? What are some pictures you wish we took and you would like to try out? Once you do a bit of research, save some pictures that you think inspire you, or maybe have some photographers in mind that you'd like to look at more to get some inspiration. You're going to be posting a blog, and that's going to be your theme submission. So your blog title is going to be portfolio theme kind of brainstorm, because it's not quite, you're going to be your submission. That's when I'll conference with you. And I really encourage you, if you want to post some more than one idea, go ahead. And then for each idea or theme idea or proposal that you post, you want to answer or explain why you want this theme, who or what is obviously going to be in it, where you plan on taking the pictures, and what's some pictures or photography or photographers that inspired you. And that's going to be due Tuesday at the end of class. So when I come in on Wednesday, I'm going to go around and conference with each one of you and kind of see where you stand. Okay? You guys have the whole class period to explore, look online. If some of you still have some missing work, this is probably a really good time to make sure that you turn all your stuff in. But other than that, I hope you are very respectful to our guest teacher, Miss Ritter. So I hope everything works out. I'll be back on Wednesday, but if you guys have any question, you can email me or just ask if I want to come. I'm just down in M301. Thanks so much. Bye.